What are the pros and cons of living in Grimsby? Well, the very first pro has to definitely be the location Grimsby has, as because it is located in between Hamilton and St. Catharines and Niagara Falls, you have great amenities close by in these large cities, but within Grimsby, you're still going to be maintaining that small town. I know so many of my clients absolutely love, because you have Lake Ontario off to the north, the Niagara Escarpment off to the south. One, you're going to be always close to amazing nature, whether that's the lake or the trails that have amazing views. But then two, it's also going to keep that small town feel. So it's going to keep that sense of community, because there's not much more to expand when you look north and south. Then other than that, Grimsby is going to have great schooling options. It's going to have great parks, but also great real estate options to choose from. And I know that's another pro a lot of my clients looking to buy a home in Grimsby absolutely love. As when we compare it to the surrounding communities, which are similar to Grimsby, like Burlington, Ancaster, Dundas, Waterdown, and Stony Creek, we're going to find Grimsby has great affordability to choose from. But not only that, the variety of styles Grimsby has. As if you're looking for a brand new townhome or condo right by the water, you can find that in Grimsby on the lake, which is a great neighborhood for young professionals. Then you have waterfront homes right in Grimsby Beach when you're looking to live on the water or just a short walk away in a large detached home. Then if you're looking for townhomes, you're going to find a lot of options spread throughout the town here. And then there's no shortage of new build options as well in Grimsby, as you have two real neighborhoods, being the Casablanca as well as Dorchester Estate, offering many different 3 to 4 bed detached homes for you to choose from. And then finally, you can find some of those older classic homes that were built in the 60s and 70s that are those side splits that have large lots and are truly in the center of town, offering a great walkability to the downtown of Grimsby. So no matter what you're looking for, send me and my team a message today to book your free relocation call, where we can guide you best on where the best neighborhoods are for you and give you an idea of what you can expect for the real estate based on your search criteria. Other than that, the next pro let's chat about is definitely have to be the parks Grimsby offers. As first, you'll find Beamer Memorial Conservation Area, which is a great park that offers many different hiking trails that lead to awesome lookouts, both with scenic views of Grimsby as well as Lake Ontario. But then you'll also find Nell's Beach Park, where you can enjoy some green space or some jungle gyms right beside Lake Ontario. And close by that there, you'll find also the Steve McDonald Leash-Free Dog Park. I know a lot of my clients always like to capitalize on the weekends, but also you'll find here Grimsby Beach, which is a rock beach, perfectly to chill or to skip some rocks and enjoy the skyline of Burlington, Mississauga, and Toronto, which you can definitely see on a clear day. But then you're also right beside the conservation area of 50 Point Conservation, which offers a variety of walking trails where you can do some of the best bird watching in all of Ontario, as a lot of the migrating birds stop at this park here. But you can also find a boat harbor as well as some RV campgrounds if you wanted a staycation. And then in my opinion, the best sandy beach in the Hamilton, Niagara region being at the 50 Point area. But other than the parks, what you're also going to find here is some amazing community centers. Specifically on the west side, you're going to be finding the Peach King Community Center that has 2 indoor rinks as well as a fitness center, an auditorium, a bunch of sports fields, and more. But then also on the east side, you'll find Grimsby's YMCA that has a fitness center, a pool, basketball courts, pickleball courts, and so much more. Now, all these pros that Grimsby has offered also comes with some cons. And the first con I'll mention here happens to be the limited employment options Grimsby has. Now, don't get me wrong, if you are working from home, Grimsby is a great option, as you can get that larger detached home that has that extra room for an office or a finished basement. However, if you need to commute to work, you're probably going to be adding a bit of extra time depending on where you're traveling to. I know a lot of my clients that buy in Grimsby end up commuting to Oakville and Burlington, or out to Toronto, or out the other way to Niagara Falls to go for work. And as a result, that's going to bring us on to the next con, and that happens to be the traffic you're going to find within Grimsby, as there's 2 main bottlenecks you're going to be finding when you're commuting for work. First is if you're commuting out to Toronto, you're going to find some bottlenecks over the Hamilton Skyway, especially as you enter Burlington, where the QEW and the 403 merge. But then also the other bottleneck you're really going to notice when traveling in Grimsby will be the downtown part of Grimsby. Because this was developed a lot older, it doesn't have the widest street streets. As a result, at some parts, you're definitely going to be noticing some bottleneck, adding in an extra 5 to 10 minutes to your commute time when traffic backs up. Now, the good news about Grimsby, if you're thinking about commuting to Toronto, is you, one, get 3 easy access points to the QEW to jump on, so you can hopefully avoid the downtown stretch there, giving you easy access to just jump on the highway from your home. Now, another disadvantage about living in a smaller town like Grimsby definitely happens to be the public transit options available, as currently there is no city bus available and only one GO bus available on the furthest west side in the Casablanca Boulevard. So you will need to heavily rely on a car to get your basic amenities done and also go to your job. Now, there is currently one train stop that has the Via Rail train stopping here once a week. However, there are plans to add a GO train stop to this station here in the coming years. Now, on the flip side of that, one of the advantages about living in a small town that has such a strong sense of community is that everyone is so friendly. At least from my personal experience, every time I'm going out to show my clients homes and we see a neighbor out in the yard and we just have a conversation, ask a couple questions about what they think about living in the area to give my clients some perspective, I find everybody to be so helpful, stopping by, answering all the questions we have before carrying on with their day. And even like when I'm there early for an appointment, I go for a walk around Grimsby. Oftentimes, it's not necessarily in every city. Like I know when I'm walking through Toronto or even like the downtown borough of Hamilton, if I'm walking by someone, they don't mention saying like, hey, how are you? Where in Grimsby, every time I'm walking in the neighborhood, it seems like every single person I pass absolutely stops, at least says hello while you walk by. But the other advantage about living in this small town, and we're gonna find a lot of these friendly people, is in the local farmers market, as this happens every Thursday afternoon in the beginning of June and goes until the Canadian Thanksgiving weekend and runs from 3 to 7 p.m. where you can go pick up amazing local produce, fresh baked goods, and just support local businesses in general selling their goods here. So I would highly recommend going to check that out when you're living within Grimsby. But another thing that is an absolute advantage about living in Grimsby, I know my clients love, is the safety and that sense of community that it has. Because it's a smaller town, a lot of people know people and you just start to notice familiar faces. There's definitely some people looking out for your kids when you're going there. I know, not myself personally growing up in Grimsby, but I had many friends that grew up in Grimsby and they could just run wild within Grimsby. Now, granted, back then, 20 years ago, it was a bit smaller town, but even still today, you definitely notice that when walking around. And then if you have young kids, this will definitely apply, and that is the great schooling systems that Grimsby has to offer you. As in total, there's 8 elementary schools and 2 high schools available, being the Grimsby Secondary School and the Blessed Trinity Catholic Secondary School, all of which are highly ranked on the Fraser Institute ratings. However, of course, this is just a great starting point for the ratings here, but always recommend doing more research and getting recent accounts, as you'll also hear from the residents how great the extracurriculars are, from the sports, but also to the music and art programs Grimsby schools have to offer you. Then another advantage about living in Grimsby is you're going to have your own hospital here in the West Lincoln Memorial Hospital, which is actually currently going under an expansion, making it much larger and are able to serve the expanding community here. But you'll also find some specialized clinics throughout. However, if you're not able to find it in Grimsby, the great option is you're right beside Hamilton, which has some of the top healthcare in Ontario in general. Now, depending on where you're coming from is going to depend on if this is a pro or a con, and that is the shopping options available within Grimsby. As don't get me wrong, you're going to find your basic amenities at the main plaza in the downtown area of Grimsby. That you'll find a Canadian Tire, a beer store, a Sobeys, Shoppers Drug Mart, and a bunch of other smaller shops. However, if you compare it to the cities surrounding it, from Hamilton, but also St. Catharines, you're just going to have less shopping options to choose from within Grimsby compared to those surrounding cities. And with that said, there is still no shortage of amazing local businesses within Grimsby. As first, you'll find Lang on the Water, which is some of the best pad thai and Vietnamese dishes that you're gonna try within Grimsby, but also just within the area in general. But then you'll also find the Olive Board to catch up with old friends, enjoy some local wine from the Niagara region, as well as delicious meats and cheeses. Or if you want to get some work done and grab a coffee Coffee, Station 1 Coffee House is a perfect spot for you to check out. And then finally, can't forget mentioning Nona's Pizza for just a great, delicious pepperoni pizza slice. Then another pro that is going to be associated with living in Grimsby happens to be the amazing local farms that are just a short drive away, as it doesn't take long to pop out of the city of Grimsby and start rolling through the rolling hills of the Niagara region and the rich soil it has to offer you, giving you a variety of farms to choose depending on the season. Whether you want to go apple picking in the fall time, whether you want to go pick strawberries, go pick cherries, go to the pumpkin patch, or just grab some amazing sweet corn, you can find that all here if you're not able to hit up the farmers market on Thursday. But also, because of the rich soil that the Niagara region has to offer you, definitely factors into the next pro, which is the amazing wineries that are located within Grimsby, but also just around Grimsby. As in total, there's 88 wineries that you can easily find that are in a short driving range to enjoy some world-class wine. Now, one of the disadvantages about living in Grimsby is while you have those wineries to go check out on an evening, what you're not going to notice is a lot of nightclubs, bars. Like, you'll find a few bars in the downtown part of Grimsby, but it's going to be nothing like St. Catharines or especially Hamilton for the variety and the options and just the activities that are going on. And that's also going to go with the events and festivals. You're not going to find many different events happening. You are thankfully just a short drive away though to Hamilton or also to Toronto to go catch those things there. Then another thing I sometimes see online is the seasonal tourism that happens within Grimsby, as because Grimsby has these gingerbread houses that are some of the old Victorian original cottages that are now painted with what seems to be every color of the Crayola box. You definitely get some influx in traffic in this area here around the Grimsby beach. However, I don't think it's really a disadvantage for living in Grimsby. It's rather just some people coming out to go see it, and to be honest, it really doesn't add much traffic, especially if you're living in other neighborhoods other than this one here. So those were the main pros and cons of living in Grimsby. If you are thinking about buying a home here, send me and my team a message today. And if you want to learn more about another community slightly closer to Toronto that might be right for you, the next video I recommend you go check out is my video covering the best and worst neighborhoods of Stony Creek. So you can find that video right here. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day.